finally know how the Jesus died. I've been wondering. Y'all ever wondered that? If Jesus had so many friends and so many homeboys and so many followers, how did Jesus die? I'm being serious. If Jesus had so many people around him who loved him and who had his Sabbat and who supported him, this man had 12 disciples. And only one of them was crooked, right? He had a mama, he had homeboys. How did Jesus die with all these people around him who claimed to love him? That's the question. How did Jesus die? How did Jesus die when he had all these people around him who claimed to have loved him? That's the question. How do I put a question up here? Because that's the question of the day. Because I'm going to tell y'all how Jesus died. I'm curious. Somebody going to answer this. I'm trying to figure out, how did Jesus die? If the people around him loved him so much and they respected him so much, then how did Jesus die? What's up, Bath? How did he die? Because think about it. Would you let your mama get strung up like that? It's not like they had police officers with guns. It was more people in the street than it was Romans, right? How did Jesus die? How did all these people that was around Jesus that said they love him allow him to die? Y'all don't wonder that? So y'all telling me that in a world where there's more people than officers, you would actively let somebody come to your house, snatch your child, your friend out, drag him down the road, and hang him up? I think you would. I think Jesus died because of his neighbors. I think Jesus died because of his tribe. I know how Jesus died. I'm trying to figure out if y'all know how Jesus died. How did a man like Jesus die? Such a good man, right? A man that told the truth when no one was asking for it. A man who challenged the system and challenged authority. A man who was falsely made into a god, was falsely made into an idol after being murdered for telling the truth, after being murdered for standing up against his government, for standing up against the status quo. How did Jesus die? I'm curious to know. Because as I grow in my world, in who I am, I realize that the people around me are more dangerous than the people who follow me. And the people who follow me are dangerous because they're strangers. But the people who know me seem to be more dangerous than the people who don't. And I'm learning that I must be exactly who I say I am, or the people around me wouldn't be threatened. They do this thing where, I say a hit dog will holler. Oftentimes when I'm talking to family and friends about things that have nothing to do with them, they see themselves within the conversations I'm having. And so they claim it. They smelt it, they dealt it, they claim it. So I'm wondering, if I was the Jesus and I was telling truth after truth and breaking down fallacy after fallacy, I would imagine that I would get under some people's skin. I would imagine that some people enjoy the matrix that they live in. And see, I have to say that this is spiritual too. Because as you're telling the truth about the world, people may know the truth, but they get pissed off when you try to live it. Oh my God, nothing that you do pisses people off more than when you try to live your truth, right? You don't just speak it, you try to live it. See, I take accountability for everything that I do. It's like a agitating superpower, right? I don't try to take accountability. I don't be wanting to come clean with some of the shit that I do. I'm not a freaking saint. I'm definitely a sinner. But I always come clean about the shit that I do. And I agitate people's soul because there's a certain integrity level in me that other people don't have. I'm just wondering how Jesus died. I'm thinking I think Jesus died because the people around him, all the people who claimed to love him, didn't give a fuck about that man. They were irritated with that man. Oh, he think he knows every fucking thing. That's what they were really saying. Send up their fake crying. Oh, he think he know everything. See, he done got his ass killed. He kept running his mouth, sitting up there talking about the spirit of God. Oh well, shit. Out here running his mouth. Let's go back to the status quo. They got y'all thinking they honored this man. Ain't nobody honored this man. His homeboy sold him out for a few pieces of gold. That should tell you everything you know right there. I guarantee you, half the people in Jesus' circle, they love the benefit of catching this man's blessings and his good energy and all the hoopla hobla around him. But when it was time to go to war over him, they didn't go to war over that man. They let that man die. They let that man die. Do you hear me? They didn't care about that man. That's the reality of the world. The reality of the world, some people are going to fight. Some people are going to act like they want to fight and they going to have the knowledge. But when push comes to shove, they going to leave your ass there to die. Y'all seen The Mummy? Y'all remember that character Benny from the Mummy 1? How Benny, he knew all the languages and he could be a guide. But Benny was always out. He always was leaving people. That's how some people are. They'll get to know your language. They speak your lingo. But the reality is they don't want a better world. So they need a Jesus. And it's time for that man to get killed. Those people didn't fight for Jesus. That's how Jesus died. I'm not talking about how we know they strung him up. No, nobody. You think that when they came to get Jesus from his house, that it was a secret? People knew that they were coming for Jesus. Real ones would have hid him. Real ones would have been like, let's go. I'm not playing these games. Let's go. I got a donkey for you. We out in the morning. Let's go. We're going to keep you safe. We're going to spread your message around the world. Y'all talking about this man said, forgive them because they don't know what they did. They know not what they did. That man didn't say that. He looked up to the sky and said, I should have never helped these mother effers. Because the people who loved Jesus was the people who really was for him dying. That's how Jesus died. We like to talk about it as if human nature still isn't human nature. Human nature still is what it is to this day. It's ugly. It's ugly. And people are ugly. And it was just so easy for these people to betray the Jesus. They didn't care. Y'all think they cared? They betrayed Jesus real easy. They didn't care. They weren't going to fight for, they wasn't going to fight for this man. They wasn't going to make it so that this man got to hide somewhere and he was safe. They didn't care. They just they was like, well, let's talk about it like it's real life. If you seen someone come out of nowhere in real life and they got all these answers that you weren't looking for and they start clicking and making sense and you feel like a hit dog, you're going to have an issue with the Jesus. Jesus was telling y'all to break the system. Told y'all to break the system. Told y'all don't be like what you see. This is not how God wants y'all to live. That's what Jesus said. Pissed off people. He pissed off people. Some people, even if they knew that the system was corrupt, Jesus pissed them off for being like, but you're going with the system. That pissed off people. Y'all think that Jesus wanted to, I'm just saying, the realities is there are people who are Jesus like today. And yet the world rejects them so hard. They get told to shut up and this, that, and they expect you to live perfect. But Jesus wasn't perfect. And anyone like Jesus isn't perfect. But y'all hold up these fallacies to people and you get upset when they're not a vision of perfection because you still feel like they're better than you. And that pisses you off. And that's how Jesus died. There's nothing that said Jesus was perfect. That is not true. No one is freaking perfect. How was Jesus perfect and this man was flipping tables? I'm trying to put my question back up, but it's not working. How did Jesus die when he had many people who claimed to love him? And it's a legit question. I'm just wondering. Realities is there's a whole lot of people like Jesus, and those people irritate your soul more than because they're supposed to. They're supposed to rattle up your soul. They're supposed to make it so that the things that you don't know in this world and you don't understand, you figure out. I think it's even funny that there's a book in the Bible called Romans. They said this thing said, "For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life in Jesus Christ our Lord." That doesn't make sense. So, if Jesus was a man without sin, right? They killed him. Then they wrote those fallacies in a book and called it the Bible. Y'all are crazy. The reality is, you don't need. I remember I asked somebody, "Do you need the Bible to tell you how to be a good person?" And he said, "Yes." That's an issue, bro. That means that you're a bad person inside. That means you're broken. That means something's wrong with you. That's not normal. If you need a book to tell you not to screw over other people, not to put your hands on people, not to be a liar, not manipulate to get what you want, that's an internal problem with you. That means you're messed up inside. And there's so many people, I feel like, who are pissed off when you call out the truth. I call out the truth for myself all the time. I hold myself accountable all the time. Why is it when I hold other people accountable, indirectly, meaning I don't even know what's going on with you, I just say some things and the hit dog hollers, now you're mad at me. You're mad at yourself. This is an internal problem. This is some internal strife that you have, and you're projecting it out on me because you're unsatisfied with who you are. Now, today, I've been putting out, we're canceling Christmas. I've been saying this since about August, right? Then people came out with the blackout. I'm like, cool, I'm with it. Unbeknownst to me, someone close to me spent $600 on Christmas decorations. How would I have known? So, I was talking about the system today and how ways where, we can break it, and how, this person was saying they don't feel good. I was like, then don't go to work. They were saying, but I have to and they need me. I said, no. They need they need to have more than just you doing that job, and they need to pay people fairly so that more people can do that job. You shouldn't have to go to work when your voice is barely there and you're not feeling very well. I was like, don't fall into the system. You work very hard, you don't feel good, utilize your sick time. So then this person got upset with me and was like, well, I'm not in the system. I'm like, well, you are in the system because you're scared to take off leave for a day, right? The system should have been set up. Like, if you take off your scheduled time, they will realize that they should have hired more people. And then the times where you're not feeling good, instead of you being penalized for that and going to work when you're sick, eventually they'll either have to hire someone else or hire someone else. You get what I'm saying? So this person got upset and immediately start talking about, well, you say the system, but you don't do shit to break it. I'm like, I do things to break the system, and I'm actively doing things. My small part isn't obviously going to change the world, but like I've been taught by my mother, stand for something or fall for anything. So I've picked something that I'm standing up against. And I've also, Sally, come here. And so this person in turn continued to get upset and then mentioned, well, I paid $600 for Christmas decorations. I didn't ask that person. Here you go. Love you. I didn't ask that person for that information. I wouldn't have even known. But I did send that person the blackout information, right, on how we were protesting Christmas. Me and this person have spoken plenty of times, and they said they weren't buying anything for Christmas. They weren't buying any decorations. They're just going to have what they have. So I had no idea that this person went out and spent $600 on Christmas decorations. When I say a hit dog will holler, that's what I mean. So I'm talking about systematic things, and this person turns and attacks me, right? But they're attacking me because they feel weird because they spent $600 on Christmas decorations unbeknownst to me. So I let them know, you're upset with me for something that you did, but I never knew that you spent the money, nor did I ask you. That was volunteered information. Nor did this conversation have anything to do with your participation within the system. I said, so you were taking it personal because you're being a hit dog hollers. And in turn, it was like, I'm not a hit dog, I'm not a dog. Hey, bro, you're still mad. You're mad and I didn't do anything. You're mad and I'm saying the same rhetoric that I say every time. I'm going to continue to say the same rhetoric that I say every time. It is by design that we don't know that our neighbor is struggling, if you understand what I mean. That's by design. It's not a coincidence that you have no idea what your neighbor is going through. It's not by coincidence that you don't know that your neighbor is struggling. You're not supposed to know because they've made money about pride. So you're supposed to have pride and you're not supposed to look like you're struggling. This system has tricked you because, see, corporations don't mind telling the government when they're struggling and when they need help. You get what I'm saying? They have no problem saying, hey, we ain't doing too good. We need assistance. Assist us. We want tax breaks. Assist us. But normal people have a hard time asking for assistance because normal people shame each other. Billionaires don't shame each other for claiming bankruptcy. They're like, "Ooh, you're smart. You kept your assets. Your assets." It's normal people who shame each other for not having, and you're stupid enough to do so because the system made you like that. I will never stop saying that it's systematic. Not only built by humans, but built by true evil in this world, built by true demons. Y'all can say whatever you want to. It is here. And that is why I asked the question, how did the Jesus die? People say he got killed, but I'm trying to make a point. If this man was everybody's everything, they would have surrounded them. They would have hid him. It took an act of God to find Saddam Hussein. So when we say that the Jesus died, we have to understand everybody just stood back and was like, this ain't my problem, take him. It was maybe one or two people who, when the Romans came in there, they was like, hey, we're going in. You're not taking him. But most people stood back. And when he died, they put on a performance and cried. Because they didn't have it in them to stand up for them because they were stuck in the system. And he was their way out. And instead of listening to his words so that you can get out, you made him your false idol. You made him your false god. And you glommed on to him. So now people are hanging on Jesus' coattail instead of understanding that Jesus is saying all y'all can be free. That is the issue. The issue is that his followers only followed him. They never picked up on what he was saying. They never thought to run with it. They never thought to be like Jesus. And so today when we go in churches and y'all are faking good and y'all are faking the funk and you're humming, you're still not listening to Jesus' lessons. on how to be Jesus-like, because you don't want to hear it, because you don't actually want to be on the line. You don't want to be on the line. You want to be a spectator. You want to say, yeah, things are bad, but I'm not going to be on the line. I'm going to speak. When I talk to people, I'm going to talk about Christmas. I'm talking about Thanksgiving. Oh, the food that I'm eating, the things that I'm cooking. I'm not going to say something like, well, I'm not going to celebrate Thanksgiving this year because it's a fallacy within itself. You're not going to say that. So that means you did not take your part. You did not stand up for anything. That is the issue. That is what I'm talking about. There are people who are not going to rock the boat either way. They're going to go to the Jesus side and say, I get what you're saying. That makes sense. Then they're going to go back to the evil side and say, I'm going to still spend my money on this and I'm going to still push this culture. So they want to whisper like they understand Jesus, but they're still going to go back into the world. And that is the issue. You're going to live in the world regardless, but that doesn't mean that you have to say, yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is good. I'm going to consume this. Some things you have to be like, no, thank you. That ain't for me. I don't like this. Why are we doing this? Because the reality is we asked for one Christmas for y'all not to spend anything. Just one Christmas. We didn't ask for Christmas forever. We asked for one Christmas. And people are running out there, spending their money as fast as they can. So for those exact same people, how can I hear you say next year, oh, everything is so expensive, this is fucked up? You're part of the problem. You had one season, one December, one November to not spend anything. You had one time to stand up for something in order to show these people we don't need them, they need us. And you were powerless. You had one time to show your power and to show who you truly are. You had one time to take back your power as a consumer, and you laid your ass down on the ground. You laid your ass down on the ground because you're still using your pride and your ego to show them, I got it like that. The point is, they know we got it like that. That's why we wasn't supposed to give it to them. You didn't want to do that, though. That's the average person. The average person wants to show the system that they can be within the system, that they got it like that, that they beat the system. Playing within the system is not beating the system, unfortunately. You got to get tricky and sly. 1 year you don't pay your taxes. I promise you they'll spend your tax money better. 1 year you don't do anything for Christmas. I promise you come that January, prices will be down in those stores. February, things will be better. March, but you get 1 month to prove a point to them, maybe even 2 to prove a point to them. These are their months where they are calculating to get the bulk of their dollars. And you get one time to show them, I don't want to give it to you this year. So the hit dog holler theory was true. Because the individual got upset and kept getting agitated. And that's why I said you're an agitator. I kept telling him you're an agitator. You're getting aggravated with me. Because I didn't say anything but to not follow the system. And you, without unbeknownst to me, was following the system so much that you gave them 600 of your hard-earned dollars for decorations. I've done it before. I have done it before. That's why when they said, don't do it for this year, I said, okay, I won't do it for this year. Because I have overconsumed 101 times. What are you talking about? 1 billion times. Over 1 billion times. I've just learned recently how this shit goes. So as I learn, I do better. And I think that is why I irritate people's soul. Because it's the learn better, do better theory. I just want to do better. I don't see why not. I don't know why we wouldn't. But I'm talking to a bunch of people who, when they feel right from wrong, they beat themselves up when they do wrong. What the fuck you beating yourself up for? The Jesus was not perfect. God isn't asking you to be perfect, just asking you to be a decent human being. Letting you know that society has to move together in order for it to succeed. Women aren't together, men aren't together, black people aren't together, white people aren't together, Asian people aren't together. Something Parents and children don't even get along. Something has to have some type of cohesiveness because we're a society, and the only thing we've been able to pass through as cohesiveness is extreme consumerism. Whether we're consuming the internet or clothing industries or eyelashes or fingernails, this is where we thrive. See these wine bottles behind me? Or wine bottles. Come on, bro. Let's not say I wasn't part of the problem. I just learned this fall how much of the problem I was a part of. I just learned that I was a part of the problem. I don't want to be a part of the problem anymore. I'm excited. So I'm telling other people, hey, we can't be a part of the problem. So, like the clothes I have in my house, none of them are new. I've always been a minimalist. But I've always known, like, okay, I wanted to do this to the top of my cabinet. So I was like, you got to buy the wine. You got to drink the wine. But now I'm not doing it. You just learn. You know better. You get over it. Shit. And there's this weird thing where it's like, when you learn better and you do better, people, like, they want to judge you. This same person was like, oh, I never thought to bring a kid on a cruise. So then they started feeling weird because I brought my kid on the cruise and we had fun. That's nothing to feel weird about. That's nothing to feel weird about. I make people feel weird about the fact that I like being around my son. There are moms who treat me like shit or they don't want to be around me because they're like, well, you just make motherhood look so easy. I just like it. What are you talking about? I enjoy being around the person that I produced. That may not be for everyone. I'm not judging you. Listen, y'all, my pockets are low, okay? My bank account is on E. I am struggling in life. And yet I have this smile on my face and this joy in my heart and this faith that I can't explain. And people are yet still pissed off at me because I'm moving on faith. They know that my financial situation isn't good. And they're still agitated with me. So if you felt like your money made you better than me, and I'm like, that's okay. You're allowed to feel like that. I don't mind it. You're like, bitch, you're supposed to be sad down in the dumps because when I didn't have it, I was sad down in the dumps. Well, I don't feel that way. So that's what I'm saying. I know how the Jesus died. I know how he got killed because people around him was pissed off that he did not subject himself to the system. When you find your own joy indicative of what people think and how they feel and how your life is going, when your money is like this, but your happiness is like this, oh, that pisses some people off. Because when their money was like this, their mood was like this. And they're trying to figure out why you're not miserable. People are mad because I'm not miserable and I'm finding things to stand up for. I'm finding myself. I'm discovering who I want to be. I'm discovering what's important to me and what's not important to me. And I'm just telling some truths, man. You can't get upset because I keep saying things like, okay, well, we're obviously in the situation that we're in because every single generation prior to my generation wasn't questioning the system. They were just going along with it. Oh, no, we were questioning it, but you were also going along with it. You're not in trouble because you're going along with it. Good thing that you questioned it because then you taught me to question it. But I have a little bit more energy to take action. The world is just a little bit different. People don't want to talk about that. We grew up with Kanye. Of course we express ourselves. Of course we're saying things that we shouldn't be saying, but that ended up being true anyway. That's the example that we had. You get what I'm saying? So I don't understand. I was gonna say, hit dogs will holler, but I'm not trying to call anyone out. I'm just saying as loud as I can, if you're calling is to be Jesus-like, you will know what I'm saying. Then do it. Be that way. That's not saying be perfect. That's not saying be hypocritical. That's not say put others down. That's say just live your life. You got the information. You know who you want to be. You know how you want to move. Go do that. That is perfectly fine. I don't say things like chosen ones or God's people. No, seriously. If your calling is for you to be yourself, then go be yourself. The issue is that we're strapped to a system where what we buy defines who we are. And I'm learning that that's not the truth. But I think where I agitate people is I'm 33 learning that it's not the truth. And now I want to live my life in a way that shows that that's not the truth. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to be blessed. That doesn't mean that I got to live in a trash can or a dumpster. But that does mean I will fight the system any way I can. So everyone has a job to do. It's okay that my job is to educate. Because, see, the educators before me are passed away. You need new educators in the world. You need new people to awaken the world. We all have a job to do. Life gets complicated when we lack faith in the bigger picture. We all pray for a better life. But God's like, okay, sure, you can have a better life. There's just things you got to do to get there. Oh, shit, we don't want to do that. It's easier to just go apply for any job and get it done. And then get depressed again. Then be sad again. Then you're out here struggling mentally. Then you're like, oh, God, I just don't want to wake up. I just don't feel like doing this. But I find that people that live out their purpose and that do what they love to do, you never hear them say that. You never hear them say that. I want that life. I'm trying to cross over the proverbial threshold of freedom and happiness and a true sense of being. That comes with recognizing that some things are broken, that some ways of life is not the way of life that we want to go with. That comes with recognizing that you have to go against the current, and swimming against the current is difficult because for some reason, while I'm swimming against the current, the fish that are swimming with the current are pissed off at me for going the other way. Bro, go the way you want to go. Why are you worried about me? Go the way that you want to go. And while you feel like, well, you're swimming up current while you're doing that, and magically all the food I need, all the resources I need are coming to me as I'm swimming up against the current, and you're pissed because you're like, I'm swimming with the current, and I'm not getting all that. Yeah, but so turn your ass around. I'm telling you what I know. The Jesus died because people was frustrated with him just being himself. All those followers that Jesus had, that's exactly what they were. They were followers. They weren't people who were going to be like him or try to be like him. They were followers. They didn't mind that this man got killed. Well, shit, at least the pressure is gone for us to ascend and be better. So he was getting on our nerves. Always talking about the Holy Spirit and God. I just want to go to this temple and say a few shananas. I don't want to do all that. Oh, but when he dies, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry real hard. I'm going to make up a story and say that his body rose. Man, somebody took that man's body out so y'all wouldn't defile it. That man didn't rise to no heavens with your dumbass stories because y'all don't want to tell the truth. Human nature has barely changed since Jesus' time. People don't want to tell the truth. Y'all like these little cute stories and these little cute lies. Jesus died because ain't nobody had that man's back. Y'all watch that man get his ass beat. I say y'all like the people who are here now, but I'm telling you, the people in the world now who are against like life being better, those are the same people who watch Jesus die. I'm just telling the truth. Y'all would watch Jesus die today. I don't care. Then you call on false idols to be a representation of Jesus. Jesus wouldn't have done half the shit your false idols do. The thing is, I speak on Jesus a lot to not be one of his followers. But I can't be a follower of Jesus because Jesus never asked for me to follow him. That was never a part of the conversation I had with Jesus. Jesus asked me for me to be my best self and to be a follower of God, not of him. Jesus never asked me to follow him. Jesus always asked me to follow God. So I'm so confused about you Jesus followers. WWJD. You really don't know what Jesus would do? A man wasn't turning no other cheek because he was turning another cheek. He was turning his cheek because they was beating his ass and nobody was helping him. Y'all are gonna stop telling those fallacies. Y'all want to make me believe that God's son, a warrior of God, just let people just beat the crap out of him. Man, y'all are lying because the story sounds good. It sounds great to say let somebody beat the hell out you. and you turn your head. That's not what happened. And the Jesus followers to this day, y'all ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Because if y'all really rock with Jesus, this world would be a different place. But how could you rock with somebody when you don't even know who they are? Because if you knew who Jesus was, you knew Jesus would not be down for the shit that's happening today. You know Jesus wouldn't be okay with Christianity. That's not how Jesus works. Jesus told you to seek the kingdom of God. Jesus told you to get rid of your ego and your pride. Get rid of that money, honey. The number one thing that you worship. That's what they were worshiping back then. You think this is the first time that people have worshipped riches and gold over being a decent human being? Jesus knew that. He was trying to tell y'all, cut that out. Stop doing that. That's goofy behavior. That's not what God wants. Y'all wasn't hearing Jesus then. Let's just keep it a buck. Y'all wasn't hearing Jesus. Or we wouldn't be in the same place that we are today. And that's why I say the system is broken. Because this shit is spiritual. This is super spiritual. And a lot of y'all sit up there and you, oh my Jesus this, oh my Jesus that. Y'all aren't Jesus-like. Y'all don't even really believe in this man. Y'all play on this man's death and you besmirch his name every time you can. You curse his name with your lies and your fallacies. You curse Jesus' name. You make him feel disappointed. And you're fake Christians because Jesus would never have a religion in his name. That's not even the type of person he was. Y'all are tripping. But sure, Christians know Jesus, right? Y'all don't know Jesus. And that's why you're in the situations that you're in now. Because y'all sit up here and y'all play on this man's name. Y'all think that this stuff is funny that you're doing. You sitting up here and everything is, oh, in Jesus' name, amen. Why are you asking this man to bless you when you have cursed his name 20 times over? You've played with this man's name 20 times over. When you go on the altar for the 57th time because you need a cleansing, you're playing with this man's name and you think this shit is cute? This is performative to you. When the reality is Jesus was really connected to God. It was just trying to help y'all get there. And now we live in a world today where anyone who claims to have gotten there, the same way Jesus did, y'all call them a fluke. Y'all get mad at them. Oh, you think you're better than me. Oh, you keep talking about self-love. Whatever. Not everybody can love themselves like that. You think you're better than me. Go to God. Oh, I can't talk to God like you talk to God. That's the issue. That is what Jesus came on this earth to tell you. Jesus came to tell you, yes, you can talk to God. There's a lot of noise in the air making it so you can't. Stop honoring money in the system and go directly to God. That's what Jesus was telling you. And y'all sound stupid because you don't understand that. It's dumb. It's so freaking dumb. And that's why I don't deal with organized religion and Christians, because you don't know Jesus. And y'all keep saying that y'all are followers of Jesus. No, you're not. There's a reason why Jesus used to get pissed off. Go read those verses in the Bible. It's not making sense. It's just not clicking. I hate it. I hate listening to y'all do y'all humming and ums and, oh, we're singing this song to bring in the Holy Spirit. Yeah, I used to be that stupid too. But when I really invited the Spirit in and it came into my body and I had this connection with God and we were doing this one-on-one talking, trust me, my heart was open to understanding y'all been playing church this whole time. That's why people are so freaking depressed and they go to church and they leave the church, because that ain't nothing but a spiritual cesspool full of people who are playing like they know God. You know how dangerous that is? You go to these spiritual cesspools with all these people who are broken inside and who can't even wrap their minds around reality the right way. And they're worshiping everything but God. And we just let it happen. Like it's cute. It's not cute. That's why we're in the situations that we're in today. Because we keep playing with God and God ain't playing with you. God does not play with people. What are you talking about? Y'all are humans. Come on, man. playing with a God. And y'all think that y'all are playing church like God doesn't know the difference. You think because you scream Jesus' name at the end of your prayer that God doesn't know that you're messed up inside and who you really are and what you have going for yourself. And that all this crying is just an admission of guilt and it's not real because you're not going to change. You think you go to the altar every single freaking week and God's going to be like, okay, well, this time you're different. God's going to be like, bro, miss me with that shit. When you're ready, I'll be here. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all not trying to keep it a buck. And that's my issue. My issue is people play church all the time. All the time. They play like they're in the know all the time. Just because you know a couple words and you understand a few things, that doesn't mean that you have changed your life and that you live in it for real. And y'all keep playing with God because y'all think that this is funny. And it's not funny. If anything, it's scary. And a lot of y'all should be scared. Because y'all be thinking that this is a joke. Everybody told me something they want to be like Jesus. Y'all look crazy, then be like Jesus. He gave you the keys. He told you everything. Jesus told you how to do everything. You know how many people did not follow that? Did not care? Come on, man. Some of you want to be like Jesus. Stop playing. You know how Jesus is. You learn. That's how I know. That is how Jesus died. That is how Jesus died. Because 100% people went against him. And in every way that they could, they went against Jesus. Oh, he think he better. Oh, who he talking to? He ain't talking to me like that. Shit. Who Jesus think he talking to? He think he better than people. Y'all know how y'all get. That's how humans really be for real. That's really how humans be. He ain't talking to me. Oh, he think he big. He better than me. I'm telling y'all, Jesus died off of some foul shit. Because the people who were supposed to be Jesus' friend, they were not Jesus' friend. They weren't his friend. They weren't his homie. They didn't care about him. Poor Jesus. That poor Jesus. Papa, bring me your tablet, please. Yes. And I feel like, thank you. Love you. Make sure you drink some water. You can have your tablet after school. After school. Okay. Thank you. So you have to recognize that a lot of y'all that get upset and you're like, oh, the system's never going to change. A, B, and C's never going to work. Why do you feel that way? You feel that way because why? Because you're participating in the BS. You're participating in the BS. You're part of the BS. You're part of the lie. And some people, they feel upset because they continuously participate in the BS. It's your BS to participate in. This is your world. This is your world. I don't get it though. This was 804, not 803. I'm trying to log my kid in. Hold on. Need to find out my. It'll get on. Let me go get my computer. Sorry, I'm trying to talk to y'all and do some work. But yeah, The fallacies that are placed in this world, and this whole, oh, I'm not like you. Do you know how many times I've heard in my life someone say, "Oh, Tiffany, I'm not like you." Oh, I don't think like you do, or I don't have the confidence that you have, or I I get what you're saying about not spending, but I work so hard. I'm not telling you not to spend your money. I didn't say that. I never told people to not spend. I don't know why people are getting are feeling like that's the attack I'm making. I'm just saying you don't spend your money for Christmas. Go on Etsy. Find people. I've bought from Etsy so many times. I've supported so many local businesses. It's not even funny. Small differences make small. What is it called? Every droplet. What movie was I watching when it was like, um, oh, Mayhem. I don't know if y'all seen that movie Mayhem, where there's like there's a sickness that goes around to make people go crazy. And the girl said, my grandmother said, every droplet contributes to the ocean. And it's true. Every droplet of water counts. And I think that's why I get irritated too, because I have to listen to people always tell me, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Everybody just needs to do their part. I'm not asking for people to do a lot. A little self love, a little bit of honesty. You know what I'm saying? It goes a long way. Being better than you were before, it goes a long way. No one's asking for people to innately be freaking gods and goddesses. I'm just asking for y'all to try to be a little bit better. And what's wrong with looking for people to be a little bit better? What's wrong with that theory of, okay, whew, we have to find a way to be better than we were before. What's wrong with that theory? There's nothing wrong with that. But people would have you think that there's something wrong with that theory because it almost feels like an attack. I'm not fucking attacking you. I don't walk on here every day acting like I'm perfect. I cuss. I'm crass. I do my best to be sweet, but at the same time, I like telling the truth. I'm never pointing the finger at anyone, but I am going to tell you, okay, this is life. This is how life should be. How do we move forward? Ah, so y'all, my kid is in school, right? And I just transferred him over to the K-12 program. He was being homeschooled by me first, but I've taken him as far as I could. I wanted to make sure that he knew how to read and spell because he is autistic. So I got him to read, spell, and he's speaking in full sentences now. And so I decided it's time for him to be back in school with other people. Well, for whatever strange reason, my son was asked basically to get like send all the material back, and they were basically saying that he couldn't come to class. Oh shit, I'm late to class. I gotta go. Shit. Sorry guys. Shit. Sally! We're late to school! Oh, with all my planning, we're still late. You got school. You got school. Come here. I'm back. So what happened was we went on vacation and I sent an email saying we're on vacation. His teacher then did not respond to me. And then I was getting an email saying return all the materials back to school. Now this is super vital because see, I took my kid out of school so he can learn how to read and stuff. Well, this morning in class when they're reading baby words that my baby already knows. So the teacher's like, y'all need to read this. And my kid's like reading it and he knows it. And I'm like, I did a great job as a mom. But anyways, I got in touch with the teacher. I said, hey, I don't know why y'all asking for y'all materials back. I'll let y'all know we were on vacation. We gonna be in school today. There is no give materials back. We in school. Let me go get this education. I'll see y'all later. I love y'all.